Red Bull is standing at the edge of a knife as their future hangs in the balance. With their engine gamble for 2026 raising eyebrows, the idea of Max Verstappen jumping ship has never felt more real. And if the Dutchman walks, questions are already being asked about whether Christian Horner's future at Red Bull could collapse right along with it. Despite Max Verstappen's contract at Red Bull lasting until 2028, he still finds himself at the center of a media storm, with both media and team personnel saying that he might jump ship. Fueling the frenzy is talk of a hidden performance clause, one that could let Verstappen walk away if he slips below third in the Drivers' Championship. Sensing an opportunity to poach the Dutch dynamo, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff has done everything short of rolling out a red carpet made of gold to snag him. And Mercedes isn't the only one. Aston Martin, eager to shake up the grid with their Adrian Newey-powered cars, has reportedly dangled a jaw-dropping $300 million deal in front of Verstappen. With the 2026 regulation changes looming, bringing brand new cars and engines, the entire F1 world feels like it's teetering on the edge of a blockbuster move. Red Bull is ready to unleash their first ever power unit, crafted hand-in-hand with Ford, but not without a few nervous glances over their shoulders. The paddock is talking about whether Red Bull's new engine will roar or just sputter along in the midfield. Even former F1 firecracker Juan Pablo Montoya is stirring the pot, hinting that Red Bull could be fighting for scraps next season. Meanwhile, the Verstappen drama keeps adding new chapters. Montoya even floated the idea of a blockbuster driver swap, Max to Mercedes with George Russell or young prodigy Kimi Antonelli heading the other way to Red Bull. George Russell had a few tussles with Verstappen in recent memory, and he couldn't resist chiming in, admitting that any team would jump at the chance to land Verstappen, but insists he's keeping his eyes firmly on his own game as the chaos swirls around him. Formula One's voice of excitement, David Croft, has thrown a question into the ongoing saga. What happens to Red Bull and Christian Horner if Max Verstappen does decide to wave them goodbye? Crofty warned that Verstappen's departure could shake Red Bull's very foundations and put Horner's future in serious doubt. Speaking to Indosport, he said, "At the moment, he is doing things that no other driver would do with that car, and getting results with it. If they lose him, then what? What does that do for the future of Christian Horner as the team boss? What does that do for the overall battle for power? Do Red Bull still want to have a Formula One team if they're not winning races and winning championships? They pour a lot of money into the sport. So yeah, we watch it with interest." Red Bull GmbH's managing director, Oliver Mintzlaff, isn't buying into the paddock gossip. Amid swirling rumors of a rift between Christian Horner and Helmut Marko, Mintzlaff made it clear he's not losing any sleep over it. Attending the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, he was quick to pour cold water on the whispers of internal drama, insisting everything is just fine behind the scenes. Speaking to Bild, Mintzlaff said, "I have full confidence in every single employee. This also applies to our management team. Helmut and Christian both want maximum success and subordinate everything to it. It should not be forgotten that the two will have their 400th race together at the next Grand Prix in Miami. It is clear that with all the pressure, emotions and passion, emotions can sometimes boil up," he admitted. "But then you have to sit down together and discuss it behind closed doors. And that is what we do." While Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda have been battling tooth and nail and often losing with the tricky RB21 in 2025, Max Verstappen has been making magic happen in the same car. With two impressive second-place finishes and a race win already under his belt in just the first 5 races, the Dutch ace is showing why he's still one of the grid's brightest stars. But make no mistake, it's not the runaway dominance we saw from Verstappen after 5 rounds in 2024. This year, he's sitting third in the drivers' standings, trailing the McLaren Dream Team of Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Even with Max pulling out all the stops, a massive 99-point gap between Red Bull and McLaren in the Constructors' Championship paints a worrying picture. Verstappen may be realizing that for now, he's fighting with one hand tied behind his back. and that regular race wins, let alone championship glory, might be out of reach with this year's car. Looking ahead, the big 2026 regulation shake-up promises to reshuffle the pecking order. But early whispers suggest Mercedes are way ahead of the game, leaving everyone else scrambling to keep up. Could Verstappen be eyeing the silver arrows for his next shot at greatness? One team boss is throwing a controversial opinion into the ring. Mercedes might want to think twice about chasing Max Verstappen. Williams team principal James Vowles has warned that with rising Italian star Kimi Antonelli and the ever-reliable George Russell already lined up at the Silver Arrows, there's simply no need to rock the boat. Speaking to the media ahead of last weekend's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Vowles had this to say: "I think there is more performance to be added through Max. I don't think anyone in the room would deny that he is extraordinary in what he can do, and Japan was, for me, jaw-dropping. Well done to him, but he comes with a lot of downsides as well that we have to acknowledge, and I think what Mercedes does have is a great culture with two drivers that are delivering near to the peak of the car, and with one that's on the way up. So, I personally don't think that's a place for him." Franz Tost, the former mastermind behind Red Bull's junior team, has thrown his hat into the rumour ring, and he's backing a surprising contender to land Max Verstappen. According to Tost, it's Aston Martin who could swoop in and snatch Verstappen from Red Bull's grasp, thanks to the powerhouse backroom team they've built around none other than design legend Adrian Newey. On paper, Lawrence Stroll's squad doesn't exactly scream championship material this season. But with the seismic regulation changes looming in 2026 and the promise of a first-ever Newey-crafted Aston Martin, Tost sees a golden opportunity on the horizon. Speaking to Sport 1, he made it clear the stars might just be aligning for a stunning Verstappen-Aston Martin partnership. Aston Martin is the favourite for me personally. The reason? I believe that Aston will be the team of the future. They have brought in very, very good people, including Adrian Newey and Andy Cowell. For me, Newey is the best engineer in the paddock and has immense experience. And now they've also got Andy Cowell. I remember him from my BMW days. Cowell built the legendary 10-cylinder back then, which was by far the best engine. Then he went to Mercedes and did a great job there too. To summarize, Aston Martin has the best man in the vehicle sector and the best man in the powertrain. Of course, Honda and not Cowell is responsible for the new engine that will come in 2026. But I can well imagine that there will be close communication between Honda and Cowell. Honda is not only extremely motivated, but also very open. What's more, Aston Martin has a very modern factory with appropriate facilities. That's why I see them as the future. Max Verstappen has been hit with a warning about the high stakes tied to his next career move, with Fernando Alonso's rollercoaster journey held up as a cautionary tale. Former F1 engineer Bernie Collins has voiced her doubts about Aston Martin's true potential, raising a few eyebrows in the process. Speaking on the Indosport podcast, Collins was asked whether Verstappen could one day claim a record-breaking 8th world title. Her answer was, "No, I don't think so. I really worry for Aston Martin's performance going forward. I know there's a lot of strength being put on Adrian Newey, but a new Honda engine, a new gearbox, neither of those things are easy to do in a new regulation era. That's going to be a challenge. The gearbox in itself is going to be a big challenge. That's going to be a struggle. I think Mercedes should have the upper hand, so maybe if Max makes a move to Mercedes." She then pointed to Alonso, a two-time champion who hasn't tasted championship glory in nearly 20 years, as a living, breathing reminder of how a wrong turn at the wrong time can derail even the brightest careers. I think the thing that people underestimate is, for example, Alonso is a great driver. He has been a great driver and still is a great driver, she said. He has only won 2 world championships because he made the wrong team moves. Then we have other drivers who made the right team moves and won championships by being in the right team at the right time. The Brawn story, for example. So Max's next move is crucial to beating that number. People think of the drivers, but actually it's about making the right move at the right time to the right team. If Max Verstappen does leave, can Red Bull survive the storm? Or will the team that once ruled F1 fall from grace? Tell us your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more F1 news. Thanks for watching.